We are live, Patrick. Welcome in to the Softr Showdown. Today, Patrick, we have three incredible Softr builders going head-to-head in a 60-minute building contest. We're going to introduce them in just a couple seconds, but why don't we let some of the audience that are waiting to come into the room. In the chat, feel free to let us know where you're calling in from, dialing in from. We have a great audience and a great presentation for you guys today. We're going to be building one app in 60 minutes, three different builders going behind the scenes with them, showing us how to build something great in Softr. Patrick, how you doing today?
Pretty good. I'm in the Christmas spirit. We just had our Christmas little company virtual party, and I'm like all festive and stuff. So I'm excited to see what these wonderful experts can build.
Yeah, it's we're going to be giving them a prompt in just a few minutes, and then based on that, we're going to do the prompt, the rules, and then we're going to start building right away. And then they'll have 60 minutes to build an app. Just give us a couple more minutes here before we get started, and then we will bring the builders onto the stage and get going. Right.
Looks like we already got some comments flowing in. People from Mexico, Florence, Italy, Romania, Denmark, Sweden, Argentina. 12 p.m. seems to be a good time for everybody to join across the world.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much for people in Asia, I guess, because I guess it's probably middle of the night over there. But
all right, why don't we get started? All right, we're going to bring our first builder up to the stage. This one goes by the name of Sahil, located in Toronto, Canada. Sahil, welcome to the event today. We're glad to have you.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, tell us 30 seconds about yourself, who you are.
30 seconds. Okay, so software engineer who fell in love with no code, and here we are building apps with no code. So yeah, I'm a founder for No Code University if you want to learn how to build, and I also help my clients do the same, build solutions for them.
Fantastic. Welcome to the show. Next builder up, we have Mr. Tim Green. Tim, welcome to the stage.
Yay, good to be here. Excited.
Tim, who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm a builder. I've been building software since I was 20. I'm a recovering lawyer. I studied law at university, realized that I did not want to be at the bottom of the cliff picking up people's mess and wanted to create stuff. So I got into software, and no code has kind of empowered me to build whatever I could dream of or whatever my clients dream of. So I was very grateful 3 years ago when I stumbled across Softr. It's been an awesome ride since.
Well, thanks for joining us. And our last builder joining us on the stage today is Mr. Ali, another Softr expert. Ali, welcome to the stage. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, JJ. Awesome to be here. So my name's Ollie. I'm based in New Zealand. I'm a no-code consultant. I stumbled across Softr about 3 years ago on a passion project where I built an auction-styled peer-to-peer sneaker trading marketplace, and that's when the journey began. And I had a few people push me in the right direction, saying, "Why don't you lean into this a little more and help out other people?" And now I do it full time for a living. So great to be here.
Fantastic. Let's get started for the contest today. So, ladies and gentlemen, the prompt of the day for what we are going to be building is a inventory management system. All right, so picture this. A client comes to you and says, "Hey, I am a retail business specializing in sustainable products, and I'm struggling to keep track of inventory across my physical and e-commerce platform. Sahil, Tim, Ali, I need you to build me a centralized inventory management system." All right. Now, there's a few quirks to this. The app requirements for this is it needs to track stock levels in real time. We need to notify store managers when inventory is low. This could be email notifications, however you want to set this up. We need to generate some kind of smart restocking suggestion based on sales trends or supplier lead times. Figure out how to use smart restocking in your way. This could be, formulas, AI, however you want to do it, but some kind of smart way of restocking suggestions. The fourth point is allow sales staff to quickly search for items and update stock after sales. And then finally, we want an automated report going out to the store owners each week, letting them know of the goods sold. For our builders, I will send you this link so you can kind of have this off the screen to the side so you can keep updated with that and reflect back to it. Now, a couple of rules. You can't use any templates. You guys are experts. You got to build this from scratch. However, we will give you demo data. So we have an Airtable base, full demo data for somewhat of an inventory management app. We're going to send it to you now in our Slack channel. And you can duplicate this. You can use it however you want. You can use the exact same structure. You can create your own structure. You can copy and paste the demo data, whatever you want to do there. Can't copy blocks from existing apps, though. This has to be, it's a new build, no templates, no copying blocks. We do require one graph to be used in this. All right. So some kind of dashboard, some kind of owner's place where they can go in and see what's going on in their business. No time extensions. Each builder will have 60 minutes. And Patrick and I will be judging this, but we're not going to give you the final winner today. We're going to save that for when we announce the winners of our community awards in a few weeks. But what we will be judging is functionality. How well does the app meet the case requirements? Innovation, creative use of AI, Softr's features, automations. Just innovate here. User experience. How does it look good? Does it function? Does it work good? Can you click around? Is it done? And completeness, is it done? Were you able to finish it in 60 minutes? I know 60 minutes is the tight one, but were you able to finish it? And then finally, at the end of this, each one of you are going to be able to present your app in a couple of minutes, showing what you built, showing the functionality, and how was that presentation. All right. So, builders, do we have any questions before we get started?
Yeah, are you going to share the link for this deck?
Yes. Link for the deck coming through in a couple of minutes here. Any other questions that we got here?
Let's roll.
Let's roll. All right. The build is officially open at 12:08. You guys are on a roll. You can get started now. I'm going to be sharing the base with you guys in just a couple of seconds. All right, Patrick, what do you think about this?
Yep, I like it.
Yep. What do you think some challenges that they're going to be facing in this upcoming build?
Well, I definitely think probably adapting to a data set that they've never seen before. That's always a challenge, right? Trying to reverse engineer what's going on, trying to figure out where the data is, what it does, how it's connected. That's always, I think, a big challenge up front, right? Is trying to figure out what an Airtable base or any data source does up front.
Yeah, if you were starting this build, where would you start yourself? So we have the UI, we have the database, we have app requirements. If you're starting off on this build, where would you start?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I would probably start right with the data, right? Figuring out what types of data there are, how it's connected. Usually with solutions like Airtable and Smart Suite and some of these other more project management focused solutions, it's pretty easy to figure that sort of stuff out, I think. Yeah. That's probably where I would start. I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time there, but I think that's definitely where most of them probably are, is they're pouring through the Airtable base and trying to figure out what needs to happen. Maybe some of them have already even jumped into Softr and created the app. I would venture to guess that this is not far removed from what they see on a daily basis. So
I would agree. For our audience out there, let me give you a kind of a gist of how this is going to go. So occasionally we're going to bring a builder onto the stage, show their screen, and they're going to talk us through where they are in their build, maybe what they're building. And that way we can occasionally see glimpses of what they're building as we go through this next 60 minutes. We're also going to answer some questions that you have in the queue. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in there. We'll do our best to answer that. We also got some fun other interactions along the way. All right. And so just to get things started here, I'm going to hit you guys all with a pop quiz. All right. So I'm going to put a quiz link in the channel. And I'm going to put it right here. And so you guys can feel free to hop into that link And we're going to do a quick pop quiz, and whoever gets the answers to the questions right, the top 5 winners, we will send you some swag while we give our builders a little bit of time here to get started. All right, so where you can hop into the quiz in the link above here, and we will see it in there. All right, I will share my screen with that in just a second. Patrick, do you mind answering that if you're able to?
Yep.
All right, let me share my screen again. All right, so we have our pop quiz here. Are you guys able to hop in? You can go on your phone by taking a picture of the QR code. You can also follow the link above. We got only a couple of you in there. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes to join us here. There we go. Got some more coming in. Excellent. Welcome, Miguel. All right, there we go. We got some more people coming in now. Excellent. All right, a couple more seconds and then we'll start our quiz. Again, the top 5 winners we'll send swag to after the fact. Maybe you'll just need to DM me or email me your address and your sizes afterwards, but we'll figure that out once you win. All right, almost there. So again, feel free to join us for our Pop Softr quiz here. You can join the URL in there. You could take a picture of the QR code, join on your phone, and let's test your Softr knowledge. I can show the Airtable base that they are using, no problem. So this is the Airtable base that we've given them access to. It is an inventory management database with several different tables. All right, looks like we got a good number of people in our pop quiz, so we are going to get started here. Let's see. And so next slide. So let's see. Well, that didn't work right, did it? You want straight to showing you the answers.
Maybe if you can maybe clear the results, maybe?
Let me try this again real quick. All right, yeah, I got to, give me 1 second here. Reset results, there we go. All right, and, all right, here we go. All right, coming back up, that was a close one. Here we go. All right, guys. Are you back in here? I think I lost a little bit of you. Let me know if that's still okay. We're gonna post the link one last time here, just for those that haven't gotten it. Right there.
Yeah, you can also scan the QR code with your phone as well, which may be an easier way to do it. It's a very simple little quiz you can access on your phone too. Or if you're watching on your phone, it may be a little difficult, but you can also go to menti.com and then type in the code 2944-5387 to get access to it.
I'm just going to wait another minute because we were up to 35 and then I lost you there for a second. So we're almost back up. Again, this is our Softr Pop quiz, just 5 questions. We'll send swag to the top 5 winners and you'll just be one of the winners for this pop quiz. Well, we're waiting for our builders to make a little progress, set up their apps, connect their users, and then we'll check in with them after our pop quiz. All right. 23 of you in. Let's get this show on the road then. All right, so for the first question 1 of 1, here we go. The faster you answer, the more points you get. So when was Softr founded? The actual founding year, when was it? Was it 2019, 2021, 2022, or 2017? Let's see. 2019, 21 of you with the correct answer. That's excellent. We were founded in 2019. We actually did our first product launch in 2020, I believe. But yes, we're 3-4 years old now. All right, let's move on to the next question. In the beginning of 2024, how many official data sources did Softr have? All right, we got a lot of votes coming in. You can see the live results coming in. Don't know the correct answer yet. It's been a busy year in 2024. There's a lot that we released. Let's see. Still waiting for couples to submit their answer. All right. So we're showing the answer in 3, 2, 1. It is 2 data sources. In the beginning of 2024, Google Sheets and Airtable were their official data sources. Smart Suite entered quickly after that. But wow, what are we up to now? 12, 14 data sources?
Yeah, 14. Yeah, 14 data sources.
It's been a busy year at Softr. What an incredible one it has been. All right, next question on the board here. Softr has 2 co-founders. One of their names is Mariam. And what is the name of the other co-founder? Another live response as they come in. Again, this is not the correct one. This is just how we're seeing people. And maybe it's showing a little too much information. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Don't get fooled by the crowd. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. It's the name of the second co-founder for Softr. There's 2 co-founders. And actually, I'll tell you a little secret about this at the once we show the live results here. All right, we got a couple more minutes. Let's see here. All right. So 3, 2, 1. The correct name for the second co-founder is Artur. Little story here. Artur and Mariam are actually married. They're a husband and wife combo. I didn't know this when I joined the team, or actually for like the first month or 2, until I realized, like, wait a second, something like, are they married? They're married. Husband and wife combo, creating innovation in the tech industry with Softr. Now, we got 2 more questions, I believe. Let's see. Next one up. Softr recently launched the ability for builders to stack blocks side by side. What is the name of the block that allows you to do this? This is a fun block. It's been asked for many years. What is the name of the block that allows you to do this? No spaces? There it is, spaces right there. All right. All right, we're gonna be showing the correct answer in 3, 2, 1. Well, the correct answer is column containers. So this was a highly requested feature. Column containers allows you to put blocks side by side. You could choose 2, 3, 4, create a lot of different things with it. Tabs are actually the containers where you can have a tab and you can click on the next tab and you can hide blocks within each tab. We don't have spaces yet. We don't have groups yet. Column containers is how we reference having blocks side by side in Softr. And yes, that is now a feature that is available and live. All right, so the last question of this quiz, and then we will look at our winners here, is in the new Softr Academy that was launched last month. If you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out. It features maybe a course. What was the name of that course, of a new course that was launched in that Softr Academy? All right. Our new Softr Academy. For those that haven't seen it, it's at softracademy.com. 100 plus curated videos there. You could search that and find the videos you're looking for, whether it's data sources, UI and API stuff, etc. You can search it. We have new courses available there. And that course that we are talking about is the Client Portal course. This is the first course that Softr's made. It's a 3-hour course that will take you from zero to building your first Client Portal application in Softr. I worked with the team on making this. It's a great course. If you haven't checked it out, definitely head over there and check it out. You can build your first app in Softr in 3 hours using this course. It'll show you every step of the way how to do it. So great for those that are either getting started, that want to build their first app, or see Softr and get tested and try Softr out for the first time. Definitely check it out. So thank you for everyone that participated. Let's see who the winners are. All right. And go on to the next one. So we have our top 5 winners here. Wow. A lot of great people at the top here. We have Thomas the Train with 982. So we have Thomas, Heartstorm, Elsa, Peelings, and Thinky. Please email me at that email, and I will arrange for you guys to have special swag sent to your house just in time. Actually, probably won't come for the holidays, but right then after. So email me at jj@softr.io. We will get you your swag. Again, congrats to Thomas for being the top winner. Heartstorm and others for participating. It was a great one. So let's check in with our first builder. Patrick, who should we go to first?
I don't know. Let's go with Sahil, I think.
All right, Sahil. Welcome to the stage, my friend. Why don't you tell us where you are in your build?
Yeah, so far I have, let me go over to Airtable. Yeah, I've already cloned the base into my own space. First step that I always do is to just study the base. I enabled this extension and I can study what the relations are between all the tables. So from what I understand, the 2 main entities are the products and the suppliers, and everything else is kind of in the middle. So now that I have a hang of the entities, I started my app. So we already have in the app, if we go, an ability to sort of create an account, but I think that will be irrelevant anyway. The login is enabled at this point. And I also have my products page going. So you can see all the products, as well as now I'm working on the suppliers page. So you can see all the suppliers. So the next step is going to be to integrate the purchase orders and the sales orders.
Excellent. What platforms are you going to be using outside of Softr to complete this?
Definitely going to be Make, if I make it there.
Okay. So Make, Airtable, and Softr to bring this all together.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. What about the AI suggestions for smart suggestions for restocking? Any ideas of how you might accomplish that?
Yeah, that's going to come later. I think it's going to be based on I will be tracking, the database is already tracking where the inventory lies, or the stock levels. So I think it has to be something to do with some comparison between sales and stock, and see which one is nearing like a low level. It has to be some definition of running low. And so I'm not sure if actually I'm doing will need AI for that, or it can just be done with a formula. I haven't given it much thought yet.
All right. Well, keep up the great work, Sahil.
Right.
We'll check back in with you in a few.
Okay, sounds good.
Patrick, where to next?
Yeah, I don't know. We've got the 2 New Zealand guys.
We found out pre-show that they're both in New Zealand, close to each other. So what do you think, Patrick?
Yeah, let's go with Tim.
Tim, welcome to the show. What do you
What's
got
up,
going
guys?
on over here?
So I'm just putting together a product list so someone can search. I'm going to be able to also add a product if someone wants to add this in. My system is called Stockwise, and I've got a low stock alert if I just bring my Airtable over here. So I've done some things in the copied base. I've added in this low stock alert, which is just a formula field that I've got some values in here. Now, if I had more time, I'd define these values in like a little system admin table. So these could be variables that someone could define through the front end. But
Brilliant.
For now, I'm going to hard code these in there. And I've got a couple of levels. I've got
Can you zoom
20
in?
with, yeah. Sorry, let me do that.
Okay, cool.
So you can see the logic here. let me just, so I've got this stock available field, which came with the data set. And I'm looking up that and going, anything less than 20, I want to reorder the stock now. Then I've got a kind of a low stock alert, which is anything less than 60, low stock alert, and it tells me how much stock is available. And then the default is current stock equals the current stock available. And that is going to live on here, and you'll be able to see here, if I zoom in again, there's just this label on my product. So there's a quick, so you can see that is already starting to show up.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's where we're at. I'm probably going to just build a single page app. So I have some charts at the top that just show some sales data. So I'm just climbing into it. It's exciting.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Timothy Green.
No worries.
Now bring Ollie to the stage. Ollie, come on up, my friend.
Hey, team. How you going?
Hey, good. What are you up to, Ollie?
Cool. So I like to think of an app as a story, right? So I'm looking at the requirements. We've got track stock levels, notify store managers when these certain requirements. And I think, okay, how does the user get there? So I start from the beginning when they log in, and I've created an onboarding flow. So what that looks like is it just kind of defines the user types that are already set in the schema. And I'm sending this to a make webhook. So somebody can sign up, they can fill in their basic information and define their user type. From there, they will get navigated to the product page or the sales page, because that's the two user types we have in the page. And I'm just working on them now. So yeah.
Awesome. So you're already diving into some automation stuff, sounds like.
Yeah, I've got the webhook set up. I can demo it. So somebody can sign up here, and I've got a bit of page logic coming in. So I'll go hello +1. I have Ollie. And after this, there's the page rules enforced, where it'll redirect me to gather a little bit more information. And I can put in an avatar. Again, the schema that I've been given is really just kind of defining a lot of these fields that I'm asking for. But,
awesome.
And then I select a role. So inventory or sales manager. So sales, I'm going to do a redirect that will go to the sales page, and inventory will go to the product page. But I'm still to put that redirection in yet. So
excellent.
That's where I'm up to.
Nice.
These two roles allow you to build a customer experience based on that role. So if it's an inventory manager, maybe they need to see specific things. If it's the store owner, they need to see specific things. And so with Softr, you can use user roles like this to create whatever type of experience you're looking to create. And Softr makes it really easy to do that with either visibility settings on the page level, on the block level, on the button level. There's so many ways that you can use user roles in your Softr builds. And it's a very important part of building with Softr, and also an important part of this challenge, as you have two different user personas that you need to build for. Awesome. All right.
Thanks, Ollie.
Thank you, Ollie. All right. So, Patrick, we heard from our three experts. What do you think about their status? We have about 40 minutes left in the build. Are they on pace to completing this?
I think so. I think one of the most astounding things about Softr is like how quickly you can spin this stuff up, right? Especially if you already have existing data. You saw several of them already had products pulled in. They already had notifications set up. Ollie already had some automation set up to control user onboarding and that sort of thing. I definitely think they're on pace to do it. But I think it was interesting that everyone was considering the base schema, right? And kind of what the data source looked like. I think that's a reasonable starting point. And I think they're on track to finish, I think.
Yeah. I would start with the database myself. That data really kind of shows the user where you need to go. Outline those user roles in the data. Some of the things that I think might be a little bit difficult are, generating smart restocking suggestions. But formulas, AI, there's a lot of different ways you could do this. I think the important part is, that it can be done in many different ways. So there's no one way to do this right or wrong. The automated report, I know a lot of business owners that this would just be very helpful for, just like, hey, I have inventory everywhere. A lot of businesses deal with inventory, and it's generally a hard thing to do. And being able to build your own inventory management platform in Softr, there's a lot of benefit to it. And these guys are doing it in 60 minutes. We could do it and do it, better in a larger amount of time. So even if we could spend a couple weeks or a month building out a really sophisticated platform like that in Softr, but it's also cool that, hey, you can put together something real quick in Softr in 60 minutes too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised towards the end of it if they're doing polishing on things like colors and button rounding and things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's 60 minutes doesn't seem like a lot of time to build, but in Softr you really can do it pretty quickly.
Yeah, a lot could be done in Softr in just 60 minutes. And so for those that maybe are new to Softr, we really like to think of Softr as the Canva for app building, right? Whereas maybe like a Bubble is like a Photoshop. We like to think that you could do 95% of the common business software with Softr using our building blocks, enabling anyone on your team to get in there, make changes, create an app, and to build with you. We want to be really accessible. I would say the average learning curve for a new user learning Softr for the first time is probably a week. If you have no prior knowledge, if you already are coming from another no-code platform, you could probably do it in a day. I like to say that we're the easiest no-code platform to learn. And so anything else you want to add to that, Patrick?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the most powerful parts that I see a lot of times is people wanting to pull in multiple data sources into the same app, right? Conventionally, you'd have to sync things across different app data sources, and Softr, you're not really syncing anything. You're just kind of connecting a bunch of siloed data and pulling it all into one place, right? That you can customize. And if it's missing a feature that you want, the only reason that it's missing is because you haven't built it yet, right? So
exactly.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of different data sources at Softr. Like you said, we have up to 14 now. And the latest one is the REST API. And so the REST API allows you to connect to any data source. So if you have data in Salesforce, Intercom, a different data source that isn't approved, Shopify, you can now connect that data to Softr. The only one caveat I'll say is the REST API is really meant for supplemental data, meaning you still need to use one of our approved data sources for users, syncing your users, because there's a lot of logic that goes into working with users, getting them synced in a two-way fashion and a security authentication, etc. Whereas with the REST API, we bring in that data, we could show that data in a lot of different ways, but it's not best for user syncing at this point. So we have 14 different data sources, one of them being the REST API, which you can bring in nearly any other data source in there. And Patrick, like you were saying, you can have a dashboard with one block showing Salesforce data, another block showing Monday.com data, another block showing REST API data, all on one page to create a universal dashboard experience with Softr.
Yeah, and even use portions of other data sources to filter a different data source, right? Like selecting a piece of inventory from Shopify, seeing details about that inventory item, and then maybe filtering a list of all the deals in Salesforce or wherever that you've closed that are tied to that piece of inventory, right? Yeah, it's insanely powerful what you can do when you start combining data sources like that.
Yeah, agreed. We also have 100 plus templates that you can choose to get started with Softr. So if you're looking to get started, I would definitely start with a template. Templates are really great because the app's built for you and the database is built for you. And so the template comes with the demo data. And so you can see the structure already in place. You can see the demo data there. And database is so important. Learning how to build a database is so important for learning how to build an app for the first time. And with this template, you can see how we built the database to interact with Softr, how the two go together. And it's a really good learning tool. So if for no other reason, I would just start with a couple templates to see how the data is structured, to see how it's coming into Softr, and to learn from that experience because, it could really help you.
Yeah, I would also add too that like once you've done this once, whether you're working with projects or tasks or media campaigns, inventory items, right? Databases fundamentally function in the same way, regardless of the noun or the thing that you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very transferable across a ton of different use cases.
Yeah. For our audience out there, maybe there's a feature that should be included in the inventory management app that our builders are building right now, but we didn't think about it. Feel free to put that in chat of like, if there's any other feature that maybe we should see them build, let us know in the chat. Otherwise, why don't we bring one of our experts back on stage to check in to see where they're at. Mr. Sahil, how are you doing over here?
There we go. Okay, so I have now made some progress on the tracking of the products and their inventory level. So as I said, I'm starting with the formula field here because we already have the data in purchase and available and sold. So from that, I'm sort of coming up with a status, the inventory status, and I'm using that in the products page for using the tab containers for like automated filters. So instead of doing this filter, I'm going to remove this. They'll be able to see all the products in good standing, or products that need for where we need to place the orders. So that is the new addition since last few minutes. Yeah.
That's a good idea. So you're using our tab containers, and then how are you doing your filtering for each of those lists in those tabs?
So since I added this field here in Airtable, I can use this to determine what data is being shown on each tab. So it's the same list essentially, but filtered based on different statuses.
And you're using conditional filters to do that?
Filters, exactly.
Have you created one of those filters yet?
No, I'm actually going to. So if I go to the good standing tab here, I can go to the conditional filters, and here I will be able to pull up the status field, and I will say here I want to show if it's any of either in, let's see what I got here. I have good, place order, or low. So I will say for this, I want to see good, or even the low ones are probably going to fall in this tab. So now when we preview this, we will only see products that are either in good standing or low standing, and the place order ones will only show up when I add that same filter here in the third tab.
That's great. Now your status is in Airtable is a formula field, and that's why it didn't automatically, because
Correct.
Normally if you have like a single select, that status will automatically be pulled in.
Exactly.
But since you're doing it as a formula field, it's not. The important thing to note here is that you need to do case sensitivity. So if good is with a capital G, on Softr said you also need to have good with a capital G to match that case sensitivity.
Yeah, because essentially it's a text field. I'm just choosing to display it as a dropdown. If I change this to just a regular, then I will see the same things in text. So it's just a UI element.
Yep, exactly. And then you have this formula field. What is that formula actually saying? Like, what is it looking at?
So I actually, in interest of time, I use Airtable AI, and I gave it that, hey, I have these fields here, and I want a way to determine if my products are in good status, low status, or place order status. So it gave me this formula, which I think is comparing the purchase and sold. So it's a relative, not just how many are available, because I wanted it to be a factor of how many I ordered and how many I sold versus just raw available, because if it's a big number, then the answer could be different. So it's a relative comparison to purchase versus sold.
Got it. Awesome. Any other questions, Patrick, before we?
I don't think so. Yeah, I think this looks amazing.
All right, Sahil, you're doing great. Got about 25 more minutes.
All right.
We'll bring you off to the stage, and keep on going there, buddy. All right, Mr. Ali, how you doing over there?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I finished my onboarding workflows, and I'm just again looking back at the product table and putting some logic into restock or not. So I'm looking at these two fields, and I've got this formula here that essentially, if
do you mind zooming in for us, quick, Ali? There we go. Thank you.
Yeah, so I've got this formula here that's just going to determine if to restock or not to restock, and just kind of
What are the variables in your formula that's going to determine that?
It just looks at these two: copies available and copies sold.
Okay, and then you're saying essentially if a copies is less than what?
if it's less than this, so if copies available is less than copies sold, it's going to say restock.
Copy.
Yeah, and then the opposite for the other. So it's just a way of like dividing up the data to kind of like categorize it and put it into. And I'm going to probably put it into a tabs layout where I've got. This is where I'm at now. So I'm using the tabs. I'm going to have all products, products to restock, and then probably just that. Yeah. And that will be a way that where that user type can just see at a glance, where the inventory's at.
Yeah. One thing I will add though is with that formula, it might be a little late to restock because you've already run out at that point. So maybe you need to add a little bit of cushion in there.
True that. Good point. Good point. Good point. Okay.
All right. Well, good work, Ali.
Cheers.
Cheers. Tim, what do you got, my friend?
All right. So I got a couple of pages. So I got my home page set up. This will be my last thing, polishing it together. But basically, I got my products. Someone, again, they want to be able to update the stock, or they want to like view that product. So when they click on that, they're going to come through a page which will have this product here. They'll be able to see their sales for that particular product. They'll be able to go and view related orders to that. And then there's that requirement around being able to restock. So in this inventory management tab, there will be a list of kind of purchase orders that are replenishing the stock, and someone will be able to add in a new purchase order, which will replenish the stock in here. So yeah, I'm making progress. I've got an automation over in Airtable, which is sending an email over here. So when
mind zooming in for us?
Yeah, for sure. So we've got when the low stock alert contains reorder stock now, we're sending an email right here. Now, again, I'm probably going to hook this up so there is a dynamic to button. So in my data, I've actually added in an account field. I've got a magic link which allows someone to log in, because ideally when you get a notification like that, you receive a magic link that allows you to just click on it. It's one of the magic things of Softr is you're able to click on that link and it will log the user straight into where you want them to be. You can even do page redirects around that. So that magic link will go into the automation email. It will go down the bottom here. And so when a stock manager receives that email, they will be able to click, go and directly view the product that is low stock and they need to add inventory for.
Excellent.
Very nice.
I recently learned that when using the magic link like this, if you add the parameter next-page and then the page name, that will then redirect you to that page after clicking on the magic link for that user. So it could really deep link you in that functionality for those that didn't know that in the audience. I use it a lot now. Very handy.
Yeah, it's a great feature.
Very handy. Any questions, Tim? You doing good?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing good.
Very good. Very good. All right, we're going to remove you from the stage, but we are going to bring, let's see, can we have...
Are we gonna peek in and like spy on them while they're building?
I was just gonna say, can we
fun.
Maybe bring several screens to the stage at once? No, we'll just kind of push that around. We'll kind of go around. Any questions from the audience so far? Feel free to put it in chat. There's a lot of things that Softr can do. Like I said, at the start of 2024, we had 2 data sources. Now we're up to 14. This has been a massive year for Softr in a lot of different ways. So if you haven't seen us in the last 6 months, hello, welcome. We are a powerful, flexible platform you could build a lot with. It is really, really awesome. We saw some of you guys, I think, in Paris for the No Code Summit. That was also a really fun time. We made some announcements there of what we're going to be building next year. You also might have saw that we were planning our year of review party for later this week, but we actually decided to move that party to early next month, because early next month we have some really big product announcements. really big product launches that we're going to be showing you. Patrick, what can we say now about that launch next month? What can we give them any kind of sneak peeks into the features that are coming soon?
Yeah, I mean, if you're involved with no code at all, you know that like full stack app no code is kind of becoming a trend, becoming full stack in some way. So that's the term that I would probably drop, is just full stack.
Very good.
Maybe I'm not allowed to say that, but it's very exciting. Super excited about what that, what next year is going to enable for so many people.
Yeah, it's going to be another transformative year, just like this was for Softr. In addition to that, I'd say some of the features that we have launching soon are a brand new tables block. And this tables block is meant to handle a lot of data. And it will include inline editing in that tables block, not right away, but soon thereafter. And so the tables block is completely rebuilt, redesigned for performance, for design. It'll be a really nice looking table block. And again, inline editing will follow that soon after. Another thing that we're getting ready to launch early next year is our updated navigation component. So we have reimagined navigation, headers, vertical, horizontal, mobile, all of that is rebuilt. Really modern and a beautiful design now. And as soon as those are going to launch, you're going to see an instant upgrade to your applications, because they're just going to look so much better. And so our new navigational blocks are coming early next year, and they already look beautiful. It's going to be a really big thing for Softr apps. Just creating different navigation components. Every app needs a navigation, and now you could do horizontal, vertical, you could do it together. And then when you go on the mobile, you can have the top menu, or you can even have the bottom menu for mobile. So a lot of options coming with the updated navigation block that I'm really excited for.
Yeah, there's quite a few different blocks that I hear a lot of requests for. Definitely table block is like up there with the best of them, because if you're trying to build especially business apps, right, or apps for small business, medium business, whatever the case is, tables and charts, those are like the big two things, right?
Yeah.
Building dashboards, seeing reports, especially for internal tools, and sometimes for even client portals, they need to be able to log in and see that stuff as well. So part of the improvement on that is, y'all may have noticed that we have new charts that are in beta. Those are really powerful. They work with all of our data sources, and we'll be continually rolling out some improvements for those as well. But the new charts and the new charts engine are immensely powerful, and I think we'll only see that kind of grow in the next several months.
Yeah, with the addition of new data sources like SQL and others, we needed to allow our Softr apps to take in a lot more data at a performant rate. And so the new charts have been rebuilt with data intensity in mind. Table blocks have been rebuilt with data intensity in mind. So whether you're loading 10 blocks or 10 records or a couple million, these blocks are meant to handle that in a very smart way that comes out of the box optimized for you, right? Normally when you deal with millions of records, you got to do pagination, you got to do caching. There's a lot of things that go with it. These blocks are just optimized out of the get-go for you to handle whatever volume you need to handle it. A couple questions from the audience here. So question about tables. Will we have to go into existing workflows and update them to take advantage of this update? Patrick, where are we on auto updating, and what do you think about this one?
Yeah, to my knowledge, auto updating for blocks is already happening for all of the newer blocks. You may notice that on some of the newer blocks like list details, item details, the new card list that's out, you don't actually have to update that anymore, right? Used to, you would log into Softr and it would say, this block has a new update. You don't have to do that. So for all of those new blocks that are kind of in beta, and I think the new calendar block applies here as well, you should never have to do an update to a block, right? The only time that you really need to do an update is if a block is just really, really old.
Yeah.
It's been in an app for a really long time. Some really, really old blocks actually will make you add the block new and kind of reset it up. So if you, you shouldn't have to, especially with all new blocks that are coming out, you shouldn't have to go back into any existing workflows or do any updates. It should be updated automatically.
Gotcha. Another one here from Russ, App Store around the corner. Russ, that's actually not in our plans. We think of Softr as business apps, internal tools. And normally business apps in this way don't need to go on the App Store because those are consumer apps. Those are B2C apps that are meant for, general volume. Software is really dug into business apps, making anyone able to build them themselves. And so that's why we have automatically built PWAs. So the difference between a PWA and a native application is a native application, you download from the App Store. With a PWA, it looks like a mobile app, but you don't actually get it from the App Store, but you can still save it as like a icon in your phone and navigate there quickly. And with the updated nav block, that experience, the PWA is going to be even better. Again, we automatically create PWAs for you for anyone on the business plan or above. You get that PWA built in, and then your employees, your users, etc., can just use it on their phone and make it very easy like that.
Yeah, and it's really a great experience. Like, I love PWAs because you can keep them private. You don't have to pay like developer fees to the App Store and to the Google Play Store. Plus, it's just really difficult, right? And there's a lot of like gatekeeping and things that go on there. So PWAs are great. They look and function just like a real app, right? It's a dedicated kind of browser instance, and PWAs are really, really good for especially small businesses and medium-sized businesses that need to control access to their app, but also, have a really nice mobile experience too.
Awesome. So we got about 10 to 15 minutes left of the build here. Let's answer a couple more questions, and then we will get back in and get a check with our builders. Let's see a question that we have here. I'd love to see what extent there are foundational choices the three builders have made, or are they basically just working in a different order and things are based in the same structure? Yeah, I think, with a limited time, the foundation's probably similar. They probably haven't adjusted the database too much in this way. But I will say that every builder probably builds their own database structure. Everyone has their own preferences. And if you're learning how to build apps, starting with databases, learn how to build databases. You just got to start there. If you know anything about Excel, Airtable, that's a great place to learn databases. From a structural standpoint, do you notice anything that have stood out for our builders yet, Patrick?
Well, I thought it was interesting that Ollie chose to start with the user onboarding flow almost first. Because he seems to think of an app experience in terms of like a user flow from beginning to end, or like he said, a story. Mm-hmm. I thought that was an interesting choice. Like obviously taking base schema and the database into consideration, but starting from, walking the user through a journey, almost like envisioning himself as the user. If I was a user and I was logging into this, what would I expect to happen, right? Which I think is a really unique and kind of powerful way to look at it. But I think in general, they kind of all started from the database initially, but yeah, it is kind of interesting to see the different paths that they took. But I think they're closing in on something very similar.
Yeah, it looks like from seeing the screens here, we all have that central list experience with tabs kind of showing differences. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen a graph yet from any of our builders. Remember, that is one of the requirements to get our graph in there.
I think somebody was working on one just a minute ago, but they had like just started. I don't know whose screen that was, but
fantastic. It does look like the struggle is real. I could see some very intense faces on our builders. We have, just about 12, 13 minutes left. So I think the sweat is starting to come on. One more question here is, I'm trying to create an automation for a friend of ours who runs a husky farm in their tour planning, their husky safaris. Very cool.
Interesting.
List, I wanted to know if I can create a CRM for each dog. So yeah, you can create a CRM that has each dog is a record in that CRM. And within that record, you have essentially a record details page that shows all of that data for that dog. All right. So your table would look like dogs, which could essentially be users, same thing as users. And then within each of those dog records, you can click into it and then see the dog's health, see the dog shots, all that kind of stuff with link details, additional details for each. So definitely something that you can make with Softr. Just depends on how you structure your database and how you want to view that data. But CRMs, internal tools, client portals, all that kind of stuff, really great applications to build with Softr.
Yeah, and the cool thing about Softr is like we have a direct Stripe integration too. So if they're planning husky safaris, they can even provide not just a CRM, but a potential client portal that the person could even log in, maybe book those safaris and even pay for them inside of a Softr app too. So there's a whole different, you got two different users, right? You've got your managers who are managing the CRM portion, and then you've got maybe a completely different side of your app where people can log in and actually book those and pay for them.
Yep. One more question here is another one from Russ. Would love to see an improvement to redirects when submitting a form or updating a record. Russ, if you haven't seen our conditional forms lately, we now have an option where you could choose the ending, and then based on that ending, it goes to a different redirect. And so now our conditional forms are really smart in the sense of if you answered this, you're going to go to this ending, which is then going to bring you to this page. But if you answered this, you're going to go to this ending, and it's going to bring you to this page or just show you this message. So we've made improvements with redirects and submitting form. For updating a record, this goes along with some of the updates that we're launching early next year, where you're going to have a whole lot of updates to be able to do this in any kind of way you want. So that should also be solved for you soon as well. All right, so we got about 10 minutes left, Patrick. Why don't we make one final walkthrough with our experts to see where they're at? Starting with, we'll start with Tim at the top of this now.
All right.
Welcome, Tim. Where are we at? How are we feeling?
All right. So I've been listening to you guys and your reminder about, so I've got a graph in here now. So what we're looking at here is a page which is all around the product, because really when you think about inventory as a business owner, like it all centers around the product, sales of that product, quantity, like stock of that product. So we're looking at the performance and novel. We've got product sales by day, and you can see we've got our volume here. We can see the individual sales orders. We can actually click in here and go and see, because products don't get ordered in isolation. You don't just order a single book. Potentially you order one book and another book in a single order. So you can go and view the related order and see what other products were bought with that book, which becomes interesting. Now, if I had a bit more time, definitely not going to have the time today, but I'd like to run some AI around what books commonly get bought together. And then over on the inventory management side, we've got the ability to add a new purchase order. Now, this was an interesting one because of the way the data is structured. I'm here thinking about reordering an individual product. Now, when I click new purchase order, I'm not in preview mode, so I won't launch it at the moment, and it's not quite tested, but it will throw up a page and say, how many do you want to order? And it will ask me, do I want to add it to an existing purchase order? Because the relationship in the data between a product line item and a purchase order is you've got one purchase order and you've got many items that could potentially be ordered from that supplier. So I needed to figure out, okay, how do I make this an intuitive flow? So I've actually got an automation over in Airtable that basically says, hey, when I'm adding a purchase order item, if I don't have a purchase order associated with it, automatically create a purchase order for that purchase order item so I can then add things to it in the future. I'm not sure if that's making sense to y'all, but it's starting to come together for me.
That's a good fail-safe, and one of those things where if the user just doesn't do it, you're going to do it for the user on their behalf and just make sure that they have a successful experience.
Yeah, otherwise, in here I need to add another purchase order. I could have a purchase order creation button, but it kind of is a bit of a clunky user experience. So this way it's smooth. It kind of flows intuitively with how the user would want to use this thing. Awesome.
Well, Tim, we're close on time here. How do you feel you think you're going to be able to finish this up?
Maybe? No, I don't think I'm going to get there today, guys, but I'm getting close. I'm definitely getting close.
He's like, if you guys would stop talking to me, I could.
All right, we'll leave you alone. All right, you go off. Godspeed, Tim. Whew. Yeah, we got about, I think just about 8 minutes left here. We haven't heard from Sahil in a while. Sahil, how you feeling?
Yeah, not too bad. I am on to the fourth requirement, which is allow sales staff to quickly search and update stock levels. So that is what I'm working on right now. Yeah, it's getting a bit deep here because there's the sales order and then the sales order items. So working on adding the items as we speak. But yeah, then I should have 4 or 5 requirements met at least to some level.
Great. And how are you doing configuring the search bar?
Yeah, based on the for the products. Well, yeah, I'll show you in the demo, but essentially I already pre-filtered, right? So you don't even need to search. You can just see what exactly you need to place the orders for. And then,
How are you pre-filtering like that?
Based on the formula that I created.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's the formula is not great, but it can be optimized. But once the formula is optimized, then in the app, the actual act of just searching for the product itself is already done for you. You just have to click a button.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. How you feeling with time left here?
Yeah, it's all right.
All right, we'll leave it to it then. We'll leave it to you. All right, our last one to come on up, Ali. How you feeling?
Yeah, good. Not going to get all of these requirements done, but I think I've got most of them. Quite challenging. That time limit to kind of prioritize what features am I going to build. But yeah, just playing around with the sales part right now, and kind of doing a nice little trick where you can actually filter the records by the line items when I click on them. So yeah, getting there, stressful, but
yeah. How are you doing that refilter?
So I actually have this page here, sale order line item details, where if you click onto a sale, we have a list details view.
Okay.
And then beneath that, we have a list block that is filtered to the sales record ID. So back on the in the database, I've exposed the record ID of the sale, and then I look that up in the line items here.
Okay.
So what that allows me to do is when if I click into a details page, I can have a list block below the list details, which is going to show essentially the line item for that sales record beneath. So it just gives a nice kind of like cosmetic view for the user to look at it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we got 5 minutes left here, Ali. We'll leave you to it. All right. And get ready for your presentation in 5 minutes.
Sounds good.
Whew.
Yeah, I'm not envious of their position at all. That would be very stressful.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. But they're doing great. Doing great. Just 5 minutes left here, guys, and then we're going to do some basic presentations of the app. I will say a couple things here. If any of you guys want to work with an expert, we have 100 experts in all over the world. And the guys that you're seeing build right now, our builders, they're part of our expert program. So we have Sahil and we have some others, Tim right there, Ali's right there. Part of our expert program, you can hire them for your own projects if you want them to build for you. One of the great things about Softr is anyone could build, but sometimes that means you don't have the time to build it, or you also just need to delegate that build. So you can hire an expert, go into our expert portal, either get matched with an expert or contact them directly. You can pay them to build the app for you, that feature for you, to troubleshoot for you, to teach you how to do it. And then maybe once the app is set up, then you can just manage it from there. But a great shout out for our expert program. We have really incredible experts all over the world that are able to help you. Also, if you want to become a Softr expert, you can apply to become a Softr expert by going to our website. There's a lot of benefits for joining our Softr expert program. Part of it is we send you leads that are looking to work with Softr expert on a daily basis. We give you free access to Softr at the business level, so you can work with your clients, show them demos, all the latest features coming out, and be one of the top 1% Softr builders, along with many other things that go into our Softr expert program. We do a lot to help you all build bigger, better businesses, agencies. Your success is our success with being a Softr expert. Again, these are 3 Softr experts building for us today. Really appreciate each of them for coming on. Just a couple minutes left here, guys. couple
Yeah.
minutes. Appreciate it. Go for it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think it's important to note as well that this was meant to be challenging for them, right? It's like these are the best of the best, and yeah, so definitely possible. Like they're gonna have some incredible stuff to show off, especially built in just 60 minutes. So yeah, looking forward to see what they have.
Yeah, 60 minutes is a tough task. I would say, like, I'm a Softr professional. I'd say most apps still take me 4 to 6 hours for basic apps, you know, and then if I'm building a template for our template database, it still take me a couple days of just like, I'm going to build it. I get feedback. I make it, you know, I find the Q&A and all that kind of stuff. So it still takes me a couple days. I mean, still building an app in a couple days, like how much of a luxury is that, right? So
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah, especially with like no coding knowledge. I don't know a lick of code, right? And yeah, it's great being able to finally have the capability to build things like this.
Yeah, and as you can see from the screens here, it is no code. You're dragging and dropping blocks. You're mapping elements from your database to Softr. It is a two-way sync going back and forth. So if you make changes in Softr, those changes are going to happen in your database. And there's a lot of flexibility. We have a lot of different actions, one-click update, edit, delete, call API. So you could trigger APIs in different platforms to then trigger automations to happen. A lot of the work being done today is with Softr and Airtable. I don't think we saw a little bit of them hop into Make or Zapier, which you can do, but I think with a limited time, we just saw it in Softr and Airtable. Airtable is a great backend. A lot of people are familiar with it, but once you start to reach certain scales, Airtable slows down on you, and that's where some of our other data sources come in handy. But Airtable also has some nice automations that are easy to use. Things like when this record is updated, or when this record enters this view, do X, Y, or Z. You know, and in some situations, we're going to see our experts today use those automations for their weekly report. So at the end of the week, based on a time interval, we are going to email this person, and then we're going to fetch data from our database and show that data in our email to the store owner for this task.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that they're pretty much all focused on. You mentioned the use of tab containers. They're using tons of tab containers, which is amazing to see because it really allows you to keep from scrolling, but it also enables like really powerful dashboarding, which is, you know, what a lot of small businesses and medium-sized businesses need. And you can use even column containers inside of tab containers, which I think somebody was doing just a second ago. So
yeah, let me see what this effect looks like real quick. That's not going to do it. I was going to give us a 30-second countdown for our experts, but I didn't want it to show the whole page. Anyways, experts, we got 30 seconds left on the clock. At that point, at the end of the 30 seconds, all of you got to take your hands away from the keyboard, and then we're going to do a quick round of presentations showing the apps that you've built and in preview mode. So feel free to load up those apps in preview mode, log in with a user. It's really cool. Software allows you to have preview mode and live mode. Preview mode is where your apps are in your staging environment. Users can't see that yet, right? So this is where you're working on your apps, you're building it. But once you deploy those apps live, then everyone on the web can see it, all right? So two different environments that Softr gives you out of the gate. We're gonna see our experts demo their apps in their staging preview mode for this. And I think we're just about out of time here. So we're going to do a 10-second countdown, and then we're going to pause work. So we got experts. We got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Experts, welcome to the stage. Man, what a journey that was. How are you guys feeling?
Yeah, not too bad.
All right.
So good.
That was stressful, man. That was stressful. That was hard.
Yes, it was. 60 minutes to build an app. That's quick. That's quick. Interested to see where you guys are at. Who wants to present first?
I can go.
All right, Salhill. Why don't you show us what you got?
All right, so let's start from the top. So really the only change that I made to the base was this status field, and a lot hinges on this one because this allowed me to sort of track a couple of different requirements: the tracking of the stock levels, notifying the store managers, suggestions, and all that good stuff. So what that leads into, if I go over to my app, is you have a few different pages: product, sales order, suppliers. I'll go through them one at a time. But essentially, you land here in the products page. And I didn't get enough time to style it more. But what you're seeing here is you're seeing the stock levels of different products. And I chose this view because it shows you right away where you are, it's a pretty visual way to see, okay, I have enough stock for this one and this one, but this is definitely going negative and this one is running low. So for visual people, this will be an easy way to say, oh, what's that thing that's running low? Mm-hmm. So that's the chart requirement there. And then on the product side, as I said a couple of times, to determine the stock levels, I already pre-filtered it. So you don't even have to search here. You can see all the products. Then you can see products that are in good standing. So okay, so these are good. I still have 15 available, 53 available, so that's pretty good. But then when you go to place order, so this right away, and this will update automatically, right, as the numbers change. Anything that drops into this category, the place order category, so you're like, okay, so I am negative on this one, so I need to place an order for this. So that's the sort of the products page. And that I think helps us meet the looking for the items and running the inventories. So on the back of this, on the back end, what I also have is I have two automations. So one is for when the stock is going into the low mode, I send a warning that, hey, you might have to place an order for this soon. And I'm doing this because I have, again, the status field. I can listen to that. And whenever a product drops into low, it will send a warning notification. And then when a product goes into negative, meaning they're out of it, it will send an urgent notification saying you are out of this product and you need to place the order ASAP. So that is the notification requirement. And then going over into the product. So let's say they know that, okay, someone just bought something and they want to update the inventory. So what they can do is they can go to the sales order page, and what they can do here is they can first of all see all the orders and their statuses, but they can also start a new order. So you start the order, and what you have to do, I forgot to add the label, but essentially add the email of the customer. Okay. And what that will do is it'll create a new order and take you to the order details page. And in the order details page, then the next thing you have to do is add the items to the order, right? Mm-hmm. So because you're creating the order, so you start adding the items, and you can select the products that you want to add. So let's say 5. And so that shows us $90 there, and then we can add another product with 10 quantity, and you can
another minute here, Sahil.
Yeah, and that's it. So this is order number 107. If I go to sales order page, I can add a back button there as well. You can see order number 107 is total 270. So it's all happening in real time, and this will also reflect back on to the product inventory levels, because now that I have placed a new order and the numbers have changed, this will automatically get updated. So that's it. So I just couldn't meet the last requirement, the automated report, but that is kind of also covered with the notification.
Yeah, you're close. You're very close. Excellent work, Sahil.
Yep.
Ali, what do you got?
Cool. So again, I'll start from the top. So I created an onboarding workflow. Wasn't part of the requirements, but there's some conditional logic in there that kind of allows the person to determine what user type they are, and then be redirected to what part of the app they need to see. So I'll just demo that. So a bit of automation in here and page logic. So after this, it will detect that the user has just signed up, and it will bring up this onboarding flow where I select the name, last name.
This is a new page that you created called post sign up.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And then here, I will select my role. So whether I'm an inventory manager or sales, and then I'll use the form, which will the conditional logic at the end of the form, which will redirect onto what dashboard I need to see. So if I go inventory manager.
Great, submitted the form.
And it's going to track stock level. And here you can see I'm using the tab layout. So we've got all products, low inventory, and out of stock.
Okay.
So these are both filtering off different formulas on the back end. So if we are in the re-trigger stock, again, I took your advice into consideration, JJ. Don't trigger when you're out of stock. It looks at when you're 10 away from. So I'm looking up the supplier email here, and then I'm sending an automation through. Let me backtrack a little bit. I like to use views to trigger my automations in Airtable. It just is a design choice because I think it makes it really easy to kind of go back, especially when you're building complex applications. Setting them off conditions when you have databases that have lots of columns, lots of rows, and lots of data, it can be very hard to track. So just by design, I like to use views, and it allows me to kind of see, will give me good oversight of where I might be, of what events I'm using to trigger certain automations. So here we have the trigger restock filtered by here, and it's looking up the supplier email, and I'm using that to trigger a automation to send an email. Obviously, I didn't complete that because this is just dummy data, then there wouldn't be much of a point. But going back to the login process, I was using webhook and make to kind of catch and update that user record data. Okay. And so that was it for the stock. And then let me just go back to the sales. What was the sale order line item? Sale order. Yeah. Just change that. Great. So for the sales, have the graph at the top, and then you can see the sales. So this is mapped to the sale table, and when I click on one of these, it is going to open up the sale in further detail, and I can see the line items here. So again, didn't get into, if I wanted to have the button to add more line items to sales, I could have added that in there. But yeah, that's about where I got up to.
Good work, Ali.
Yeah, it was fun. It was stressful. I haven't built an inventory management system before, so it was a lot of fun.
Now you have in the last hour. Good work.
Cheers.
Cheers. Tim, what do you got?
All right, let me zoom in so I'm not on my giant screen. So this is Stockwise, built in Softr in 60 minutes. So I always like to add a little bit of personalization. So I've got just a little trick up here, which is, Softr allows you to pull through some information about the user. So it's like, hey, welcome, Sid. How can I help you sell more today? We've got a liner, like a chart up here that shows top selling products.
Great.
And so you can hover across. Not sure why the labels aren't coming through for these other ones, but you can see they're popping up on here. Sure. But this is using some of Softr's beta charting products, which we're all as experts helping squeeze out the bugs. Mm-hmm. And that's, look, I will say that about Softr is that Softr's product velocity as a builder and as a creator is incredible. You want to be choosing a platform to build on where the developers of that platform are just churning out new features. And one of the trade-offs is sometimes, things don't quite work as well, but, slap a beta label on there and be like, hey, use this at your own, joy and risk. But it's so wonderful to have access to new features as a builder time and time again. So I thought I'd point that out because it is one of the incredible things about Softr is the speed at which new features come out. Scrolling down, this is where we get into kind of the key pieces here. So we've got products. I haven't tested any of this, so hopefully it all hangs together for me. I can come in here.
That worked.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we've got this particular product. Not sure if a line item is like a line chart is the way to go here, particularly when the data is like this. So maybe this would look better as a bar chart. We can see the individual sales down here. So these are sales items for this particular product, and I'm dynamically filtering that list based on a product ID. Now I can go on view again. We're diving into the unknown here, guys. No, that does not look like it's working for me, but this is meant to be showing the actual sales order that is associated with that individual line item. So I'll just go back. And then over in inventory management, we've got the ability so I can leave this blank or I can add it to an existing purchase order. Now, I would probably filter this by those that are open purchase orders. At the moment, this is bringing all purchase orders through. I want to order, let's say, another 50 of them, add that in. And I'm just going to bring up the database over here and just show you that, did we get a new purchase order? So as I said to you, I think in the build, I have this automation that is, there you go, creating a new purchase order in the back end to associate that with, because you can't just have an order line item just hanging out by itself. So there you go. You can see there's my new quantity there. Now, for some reason, it hasn't quite linked up for me yet. But I can come in here. It's associated, so it is working. It's just I don't think I've mapped the fields correctly. Yeah, we'll get there. So that is what I've managed to build, and also the automatic stock notification. So I've got that email over here that's looking up the field in my data set to be like, hey, and I think I showed you guys that earlier. So yeah, what an amazing challenge. I kind of want to finish this thing now. I'm like, who wants it? Who wants Stockwise?
Yeah, there you go, Stockwise. For all of your local store owners that need to manage inventory, Stockwise and others can do it for you. So to all of our builders, thank you so much for coming on the stage today. Saul had a drop, but thank you. I really appreciate it. You guys did wonderful work. We will announce the winner when we announce our community awards, which are coming up soon. Community awards, we're going to open this up to the public for the public to vote for their favorite software builders. That will be available soon. But otherwise, Ali, Tim, Sahil, Patrick, great building with you all. Thank you for being here. For the audience that stuck with us all the way to the very end, thank you. Much appreciated. Recording will also be available online for the full build. If you have any questions, always feel free to drop me an email at jj@softr.io. You can go to our community forum where I am there every day as well. And you can leave us a note there as well. I'll put that in the URL as well. Or you can go to our academy, softracademy.com, and check out all of our courses and videos there. Otherwise, this is Softr, Ali, Tim, Patrick, Sahil signing off for today. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much.